How to not overthink. To not overthink, you can't be counting everything. For example, if you're at work and you're counting, let's just say you work at Amazon and you start counting how many items you need to get to make rate, you're going to be overthinking because you're trying to get to that number to make rate. Or if you're counting how many days until something, you're still thinking hard in your head to you to get to that day. You're just overthinking because you're thinking a lot about when that day is. Another way that you can overthink, and you should try to not overthink, is, for example, you take a test, and if you're a perfectionist, you might get upset because you got an 80 and you wanted to get an 85, for example, so you were 5 point off. So you overthinking because you got less than what you wanted to get. So you're thinking a lot about that. A lot of people overthink. Sometimes I overthink. But the way to help you to not overthink is to not think about what has to be done, what you're trying to get done, hours and days and months in advance. Worry about the present and worry about one task in front of you. Like if you have homework that's due tomorrow, worry about doing that one homework at that moment. Then you won't overthink because you're not thinking about a whole bunch of other subjects and then other homeworks that you have to get done. Because when you think about all the other homeworks that you have to get done, you start to overthink. People also overthink, for example, if somebody texts you. I mean, if you text that person, for example, if you text that person and that person don't get back to you until the next day or a couple hours later, you start to overthink. You shouldn't worry about if they're going to text you right away or text you in a couple hours. They could be busy. A lot of people overthink and they start reacting and thinking somebody's trying to be funny with them or somebody is trying to ignore them. You can't think that way. You got to think positive and just let them text you when they get the chance. They could be busy at work. You don't have to overthink and think the worst or think, oh, why is this person not texting me? Thinking stuff, assuming stuff. Overthinkers start to think a lot about what happened in the past. When you start thinking about what happened in the past, you start to overthink instead of thinking about what's in the present in front of you. Like I said earlier, when you think in the present, you tend to not overthink. Ways that can help you not overthink would be not not counting not counting things or counting days or whatever, just counting period. That can help you to not overthink. That's what I said. That's one example that I said earlier. Another way is to not have 5,000 tasks at once. Try to focus on one task, complete that task, and then go to the next task. Put all your energy into one task at that moment, and then you won't overthink. Another way to not overthink is to not be absorbed in someone's energy. Like I said earlier, when you text somebody and they don't respond to you right away or a couple hours later. Don't react or start assuming things with them or start thinking negative thoughts from your relationship with that person, whoever you're texting, because that person could be busy. Don't overthink and think the worst when it comes to them. You want to think positive about that person and about yourself and in your mind that, you know, you're a cool person. They're just busy. Everyone has to have a positive mind state. That's another way to not overthink. It's just think positive. You start to be concerned about everything that's going on in your life. You start to overthink. You just got to relax. Another way to not overthink is to don't second guess yourself. Here and there, I second guess myself. And to come to find out, if I would have just listened to myself the first time and went with my first instinct, I would have been right the first time. Well, actually, I was right the first time. But then I started second guessing myself. That's another way to not overthink, is to not second guess yourself. We all got a lot of stuff going on in our life, meaning not in a bad way, meaning we're going to work, going to school, whatever you're doing in your life, that being busy and moving around quick and not relaxing can have you overthinking. A lot of people have this problem of overthinking. You need to take time to relax, and when you relax, you won't overthink. You can meditate, do yoga, exercise. That's ways to relax yourself. And when you're relaxed, you tend to not overthink. Take deep breaths and relax. I hope you guys have a nice day. Positive vibes. Throwing that positive vibes at you. Throwing more positive vibes at you. Have a nice day, guys.